Angel Hernandez. We spoke a lot about him the last time we had him on the show. He is now, he loses his lawsuit. He was going to throw a lawsuit out to the MLB, discrimination. They parted ways with him after the season. And what are your thoughts to Angel Hernandez? A lot of people don't like him. A lot of players that we've interviewed has had their own thoughts about him as an umpire. You working with him, what type of umpire was he?
Well, again, I hardly worked with him. I worked with Angel just a few games because we first started out in different leagues, American League, National League. And then when we combined the leagues, the last, 17 years of my career, we just were never, they never on the same crew. I think the only times I worked with Angel was when there was some kind of goofy scheduling where I was filling in on a crew or he was filling in on my crew or that type of thing. But it's not, we haven't worked very much. Now, what do I think? I think that everything is blown out of proportion. I do believe that Angel was probably upset when Joe West retired because all that fire that Joe took just pointed it right at Angel. You can get labeled in this game, good label or bad label, and it's really hard to shake those labels once you have them. And for certain guys, and Angel is one of them, he was labeled as just this horrendously bad umpire. And I'm just telling you guys, he's not that. Now, have there been situations that Angel was in that, maybe could have been handled differently or better? He unfortunately, umpire nightmare. He got overturned, I think, 3 times in a postseason first base job or something. And that just sucks. I mean, that just sucks. But especially when you have this reputation or this label that you're not very good, and then that happens, it just reinforces it. But here's what happens with Angel. This is what I tell people: if you start the season, everybody's even. All umpires I'm talking about, they're all even. Angel always starts about 2 notches below that. He has to knock a few out just almost perfectly with no issues and no complications or anything, just to even get to an even mark with everybody else. That's being labeled. That's somebody that's been labeled a negative label that just stays with him. And what happens with Angel and other umpires it's happened with, you're watching a game and he nails a play at the plate, or he nails some tough pitch or something, and someone says, well, that's weird. That never happens. Boy, that's once in a lifetime. Somebody that has a good label, you nail it and you go, man, that's what he does every time. That umpire is great. The perception is always tilted one way or the other before anything happens. If Angel then, misses a pitch or misses a play, well, that's par for the course. He always does that. If a positive labeled umpire misses one, they go, wow, that's unusual. Usually he gets those right. So again, everything's approached at a different kind of angle. And so if it's reinforced, well, there you have it. And if it's what that angle isn't, they'll say, well, that's strange. That never, that's a one in a lifetime thing. It's not necessarily fair. I'm not saying that Angel is innocent of everything. I mean, sometimes he's handled things and done things maybe that has, not helped the cause, so to speak, for his reputation. But I do believe that it's one of those things where, especially with the internet and social media, it's one of those things where it gets labeled. It starts this snowball heading down the hill, and now you just can't stop it. It doesn't really matter what he does. If it's something that's questionable, that's what he does all the time. And if it's something that he hits out of the park, well, that never happens, and it's never going to happen again. You're never given the benefit of the doubt. So it comes with the territory. We don't get into umpiring to make friends and influence people. We just try to go out there and get plays right. And sometimes, when I was working, I was not a part of any social media, none. And so I hope Angel isn't either, because now that I'm retired and I am on social media and I see some of the stuff that's written and said out about him and some other guys, I just shake my head and go, oh my God, it's just, it's brutal, but it doesn't have to be factual, but it certainly is brutal.